So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at how to create a contour line for the purpose of cutting our rhinestone stick-on material. Now, if you're not familiar with what the rhinestone stick-on material is, it's basically a clear material that we can apply the rhinestones to as if it were a t-shirt, and then take that rhinestone decal and stick it to a car window or just about any smooth surface. Now, rhinestonedesigns.com is the main distributor for the stick-on material, but if your current rhinestone supplier also carries this material, it's probably just as effective to order directly from them. So check with them if they offer this particular material. I know like Synergy 17 and some of the other rhinestone suppliers offer that rhinestone stick-on material. It's very good material, very easy to cut, very easy to weed, very easy to apply the stones to, and then obviously for your customer, very easy for them to apply it to the window as well. And durability, the rhinestones really stick to it well if they're applied correctly. So very good material to use. This particular design that we're looking at is from shopdbd.com, and what we're going to do here is take this design and add a contour cut line for the rhinestone decal material. Now, the process that we're going to do is pretty much very similar in lots of rhinestone software. So you can watch the how we do it here in CorelDRAW, and you can probably find a similar technique in your rhinestone software. Now, we're going to be using the contour docker, and if you're not familiar with how to get to the contour docker in CorelDRAW, we would come over to the window menu, come down to dockers, and you'll see contour as one of the options. It's one of the more common dockers, so you'll see there is a keyboard shortcut, where like for blend docker there isn't. That's how we get to the contour docker. Now, we don't really have to pay a whole lot of attention to all the options up here, but we could come over here to contour color and specify what color of contour we want. Object and color acceleration, link accelerations, none of that applies to what we're doing here, so we won't cover that. So one point I did want to make, however, is if our unit value, see right here it says our units are in inches, right? Which is often the case when we're working in CorelDRAW. If I come over here and choose to the outside contour, if I type in 4 mm overriding the default inches unit, then it knows I want to create an offset that's 4 millimeters. I go ahead and hit enter or move on to the next field, and it'll automatically convert my 4 millimeters to an inch value. So if you're not already aware of that, it's kind of a handy thing if you need to resize something to a specific size, but you know it's like 4 millimeters versus 4 inches. Just type in the mm and it will do the conversion for us. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of basics here. If I select a single object, notice the apply button is available to me. However, if I select a range of objects, notice the apply button is not available to me. So what that tells us is we can only apply a contour to one object at a time. So what we need to do then is to group all of our objects together. So I selected the entire design, right click on it and choose group, or we could use that keyboard shortcut of Control G. Now once we do that, then the apply button becomes available. So if I go ahead and hit apply, we keep our fingers crossed that it does a good job for us, and it did a decent job of contouring. Now, more often than not, this is the type of result that you're going to get. And you're going to say, well, geez, that's not the result I was hoping for. But it's fairly easy to resolve. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this red area. So we're going to click on that red area and then right click on the red area, and we can choose break contour group apart. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky in CorelDRAW to get this option to appear. So the better solution probably to do it right is to come to the object manager and just click on the contour group, and then you can right click right here and choose break contour group apart. And what that does is it takes the red area, that contour outline, and separates it from our object. Now that red is kind of annoying, so let's go ahead and make it black. Just hit and fill it with black. That's a little bit easier to see. So we have some work to do up here because not all of the objects got a contour around them like we had hoped. And this happens quite frequently. So what we're going to do is ungroup these objects that we originally grouped together, and we can just take, we can try to group a small number of objects together. We'll right click and choose group, and then we come over here to the contour and hit apply and see if we can get it to apply to all of them. And I don't know that it did. Let's go ahead and hit apply to that one. There we go. So now we get that part of it, and then we just have a couple more objects here. So let's hit that one and hit apply, and that one will hit apply. And let's go over to wireframe mode. This might be easier to see in wireframe mode. We have one more right there. This object. I'm gonna try and select. Well, it won't let me. Hold the Alt key down. Click on that till we get. That's the one we wanted right there, and hit apply to it. Okay, so we get a little bit extra there. All right, so now we just have this kind of cluster gaggle of offsets here, and wherever you see a line, that's what's going to cut. And so obviously that's not what we want. So I'm going to select all these outlines and choose break contour group apart, just right clicking, break contour group apart. And like I said, when you have all of these overlapping, it can get kind of crazy to be able to select them. I've been doing this long enough to know where to click and where not to click to get the result and be able to click on the object I'm trying to click on. So what we're going to do now is weld these objects together. So I'm going to select this one, shift key, select this one, and hit weld. And you can see those cut lines went away, right? Weld those together, cut lines go away. Select this one and this one, cut lines go away, this one and this one. You can see all those lines kind of just disappearing there, and that's what we really want. Right? Now you see all these interior lines there. We're going to grab our shape tool here, and we're going to click on this outline, and you can see all these nodes become active, and we're just going to make a swath and delete all those interior nodes. And we're going to do, see that little island there? We'll go ahead and select that and get rid of that. Now in this case right here, you see where we have this kind of little dip and then back in. To me, that's unnecessary. We don't need that dip. So what I'll sometimes do here is I'll just add a node, and I'll add a node. And more specifically, when I right click on the node, make sure it's a cusp node. Okay? So that when I delete all of these back to those nodes that I just added, I'm going to right click and choose to line. And so see there, now we don't have that thin little divide there. And then we're just going to kind of do that same technique all around. So we'll click here to add a node right across from that one. We will make sure it is a cusp node, and then we will right click on this one just to make sure it's a cusp node too, which it is. So we'll go ahead and delete it, right click, choose to line, and that takes care of that one. And we'll just kind of come around and see here, little tiny island there, big island here. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. And then we have one large island here in the middle. We'll go ahead and get rid of it. So now we have just the outline all the way around the design. Now you can see we have a million little nodes all over the place, right? And sometimes that's not necessarily that desirable. So what we might want to do is to select all of our nodes like this. So we're still in that shape edit tool, and we'll click on this button right here to reduce the amount of nodes that we have. And the more we pull, you can see the more that nodes go away. And you just pull it to whatever degree that you think that you want it. And 65 nodes to define this outline is pretty good compared to 261 nodes. See right here, 261 nodes that are currently defining it. To drop that down to 65, it's pretty good. So we'll just go ahead and pull that as much as we want so we get it back to where we want it. And I think that's probably okay just like that. So now let's go back to View, Enhance mode, and now you can see what we have. And we're going to have a nice, super easy, clean cut all the way around. You can see like this little, you see that little indentation there? See, we might want to clean that up a little bit. Probably wouldn't matter, you know, too much really. But if you see something real noticeable like that, that's not going to take much to clean up. Let's just go ahead and clean it up. Um, and we can kind of give the whole outline a quick look see, and the rest of it I think is pretty decent. So yeah, just that little thing there. Probably wouldn't even mattered if we cleaned it up or not. But so now this is what we're going to be cutting out of our rhinestone material. So you can see it's going to cut really simple. It's going to weed really easy. And of course, we're going to apply our rhinestone design, our rhinestones to it. We gave ourselves 4mm play. So if we don't get it spot on dead center, it's not going to matter a whole terrible lot. And of course, it'll be super easy for our customer to apply their decal themselves. And that's really all there is to it. So I hope that will help you with creating your design. And like I said, don't get flustered when you select the whole design and try that contour and you don't get a perfect result, because more often than not, you're not going to, at least here in CorelDRAW. But if you understand the end goal, what we're looking for, we can make a couple of minor edits and get this single contour all the way around, and by welding multiple contours together to get one solid object. And again, if we go back to wireframe mode here and we pull this over to the side here, you can see there's nothing on the inside, so nothing's going to cut but just our outline. So thanks for watching.